Welcome to my master research lessons. My lessons will be based on a book entitled Social Research Methods, Proposal Writing Guide. Scope and limitation. Scope and delimitation. Scope and delimitation. Scope and delimitation. Scope and delimitation of their definition are very closely related. Scope is a delimitation because it's a boundary. That is, study as boundary, reaches certain area, delimits you from going outside that. And therefore, for instance, you look at a study like factors affecting students' academic performance in public secondary schools, not private, in public and not primary, secondary schools in a particular area. There is a scope. And therefore, you look at a study scope, what are key elements you consider in a scope? One, you consider knowledge scope. Yeah? Knowledge scope. That is what you call epistemological scope. Knowledge. For instance, factors affecting students' academic performance. You're looking at certain parameters. You're looking at that area. Factors affecting students' academic performance. And then you have also scope and delimitation in terms of geographical scope. Geographical scope. Geographical scope. Geographical scope. For instance, you're looking at a study in Kenya. You're looking at a study in certain Latin American country, or in Europe, in Africa, or in any other continent. Therefore, study has a scope in terms of you can't do a study just floating in space. You can't. You have to be located. You have to locate your study. And is where the social need came from. Our knowledge gap is placed. Therefore, scope, studio study scope based on two aspects mainly, based on knowledge scope and also geographical scope, may have also in terms of scope, in terms of its methodology. A study also has a scope in terms of its methodology. You can't do a methodology that is all-encompassing and involving the entire population. There is a certain sample. The sample is delimited to this group of people, this population. That is in terms of methodology, and therefore methodological as well, maybe also in terms of delimitation. It's also delimited. It's also delimited, and therefore methodological as well. Yes, another point is in terms of time. Study is also delimited in terms of time. You cannot conduct a study for eternity, for heaven's sake. You can't. And therefore, every study is limited, delimited also in terms of time. So it's still scope of a study that will be taken within certain, from winter of these or summer or terms of scope, it was taken during this period. Therefore, in terms of time as well. I think key points on scope have highlighted on key. Some of these points you may see them in my book, but I may give even beyond what I've written in the book based on experience and exposure and further experience even after the years I wrote. As 8 years ago I wrote. I was still practicing. I've practiced research over the last 20 years, and therefore the concepts may flow or overflow. May flow or overflow. And therefore, let me now move to the other point. Let me wipe this and move to 1.6, that I'm going to look at limitation of the study. If you like this presentation, click the button and subscribe and like as well.